Hi everyone, this is Julia with Hugs and Stitches. This is the continuation of my altered book video that I did a few weeks back. This is part 2. In this video I'm going to show you how I make the little booklets that fit inside the memory box. If you remember, this is made out of a condensed Reader's Digest. After I cut the piece of paper, that 12 by 12 cardstock that fits the inside of the book, I have a piece of paper left over, piece of cardstock left over that looks like this. I use double-sided, and I'm going to show you how I actually do the little stitching on here to hold the little pages together. It's kind of a hand-sewn little thing, and it just makes the signature complete. For this project, you need your piece of cardstock. You need 3 pieces of 8.5 by 11, like a printer type weight. I actually use more like a linen look here, and I have a couple different colors. I kind of like to combine the colors. And these are basically the 8.5 by 11 cut in half lengthwise. You also need a couple of clothespins, a paper poker, a needle with embroidery floss or some kind of heavy thread. You need about 30 inches of the thread. And this particular needle is just a blunt. You don't have to have a sharp needle, but it doesn't matter. You just want to be able to have a big enough eye to put the heavier thread through it. And I also use some of the book too, and I'll kind of show you what I'm doing with that. The first step is to go ahead and fold your piece of paper, your cardstock in half. And I use my clothespin as kind of like a presser for this part here. And then I go ahead and do the same thing to my other paper. I just fold them in half and press them. I'm not real exact. I think these are cute if they're whatever. If the pages aren't quite perfect, that's just fine. And then you go ahead and you press it. Okay, and then I put one inside the other. Open it up like that. And this is where the clothespins come in handy. I just kind of make sure they kind of stay together. I put 2 clothespins on, one on each side. And then I open up my book. This is just the pages that I ripped out. And I use the crease of the book to do the poking. You poke a hole in the middle first, and I don't measure. I just poke. And then about a half an inch from the edge, half an inch from the other edge. Okay. Now you start with your needle. You do not tie a knot. And you start from the outside of your book and you poke through to the inside. You have to hold this end, this tail, just kind of so it doesn't go all the way through. You want to leave like about 3 inches on that side. And then you go down to the next hole. You go all the way across on the outside of your book to the next hole on the other side over here. Okay, and you want to make sure you don't pull it so you lose your tail. You want to make sure you keep your tail. And then you go back in the middle hole. And when you go back in the middle hole, you want to go on the opposite side of the long thread. So you've got a tail on both sides. And you pull her tight. Oh, I don't have a scissors. I need a scissors to cut my thread. 1 second here. I'm going to grab one. Okay, and then you cut your tail about 3 inches. Tie your knot across the long thread. and then trim it to about a 1/2 inch or so. I kind of like to leave a little tail. This kind of looks cute. And there you go. You have your little booklet. That's all together on the inside. You can see the sewing. And the pages just flip. And then I like to decorate too, and I'll show you just briefly what I kind of have planned for this one. Because this is double-sided cardstock, I like to be able to show off that other side. And so I think I'm going to just flip this up. And I'm just going to do that to it. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this front side. You can certainly use some of your scrapbooking adhesives for this also. Tapes or whatever you usually use. I'm just kind of running a little bit low on my supplies, so okay. I think I'm going to take another clothespin and just push that up so it stays until it's dry. Okay, and then I made this little, I just used my Big Shot and the Sizzix. This is the daisy flower, and this is just out of my pages that I took out of the Reader's Digest. I like to use the pages for my embellishments, and I'm going to stick that on there. And again, I think I'm just going to glue this down. This is just a quick little embellishment here. The button that I'm using is one of my hand-dyed buttons. I have a video on how I dye these buttons. Okay, and then I think I'm going to just, with my distress ink and just a little flower rubber stamp, I'm just going to stamp right along the front, just on this first page, just so you kind of see it sticking out there. I'll stick one more on there. Here we go. And this is what it's going to look like. And it's just a nice little cute little booklet for the inside of your memory box. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this inspires you to create something today. Thanks so much. Bye.